Oh, hey folks, Dude here, coming to you on usual Tuesday. Basically change things up a little bit. I'm deciding that I'm going to be using my tablet as opposed to my laptop, just to do a breaking it up and just seeing if I have, less usage of limited bandwidth, and I don't know what's going on with Comcast, but they seem to be limiting things. Cynthia, appreciate you coming by tonight. I'm also cheating because I am also shooting it also on my this way. I'm also shooting it on my smartphone, so I have either an archive version or a version I'm just going to put up on maybe YouTube or also on Facebook, so you guys can get like where the dropouts happen. You guys still can get like what was I talking about? Because it's really annoying. Sometimes I'm talking about something and then all of a sudden it just stops. It's like Facebook goes, oh no, you've used too much bandwidth, or you said the keyword, or you did something. And we're gonna like knuckle you under for the pixelation and make the sound drop out, and then it picks back up again. It's really annoying. But anyway, looking at the scheme of things, let me scroll back over into my timeline, and this is just what I do. Is I kind of do like a news and review type of thing, and I'm also like just checking stuff out and looking at things, and of course posting stuff up, and some of the stuff, it's not ready for prime time, so I won't broach that. If you want to see that stuff, you got to go on my timeline, and you got to see it for what it is. But by and large, it seems like right now, all this impeachment crap is finally drawing to a close. I cannot begin to tell you just what a long road to hoe this has been to get to this point. And those people who put eyes on has said, for basically all four corners of its contents, it really, truly doesn't hold to a candle to what it really is. And if you guys see me looking over this way, it's because I'm kind of playing to the smartphone camera a little bit, because I'm cheating with that one, because literally standing beside my tablet, which is right here, of course the camera is right there. I know you guys hate when I do this, but the camera's right there. So the tablet camera is actually on the top side of the camera, which would be, reverse of what you're looking at here. It would be basically, okay, let's do it like this. The camera is right here. I'm using the wrong hand, pointing the wrong way, but for the reversed images that they do on Facebook, or just that reverse mirror thing where you basically shoot yourself in camera form. So essentially, I'm using my Samsung S2 tablet to broadcast to Facebook tonight. Also, I'm using my Samsung S5 Galaxy, smartphone as the video compositor. I'll have an MPEG, motion picture, editable digital copy, whatever the MPEG breakdown is. I'll have an editable copy, not edible, but editable copy of which I can then post up on YouTube. Because I've had some friends going, hey, dude, you're not posting up that much stuff on YouTube. There's no great mystery why, people aren't posting a lot of stuff on YouTube. When you work your ass off and you post something up there, and I'll put it in perspective, I'm north of 3.3 million views on YouTube. Now, granted, a lot of those are older videos, and for me to try to get a video that gets more than like 80, 90 views is damn nigh improbable, impossible, and it's just really, Facebook is just easier sometimes. But unfortunately, trying to get views on either of those mediums, you either have to have a big name, or you got to pay the money, or you got to have the SEO, or you have to have some form of pictures in a file cabinet somewhere on these, CEO guys that are like, yeah, well, I've got to give this guy full attention. But that's just the way things are bringing themselves to fold on the big three of, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Used to be I could put pretty much any video up on YouTube and I'd get 1,000 views, easy. 2,000 views, easy. My highest view video right now is, hang on a second here, let me cheat it up real fast, is obviously something that went viral. And I don't know why it went viral, but for some reason people started talking about it. Was literally people looking at my gravity knife video. And I really, truly don't know why that video exploded the way it did. But in the course of like 5 or 6 months, it got a bazillion views. And I mean, it's like literally the video that I put out that has the highest views. So literally that video right now is, excuse me, I'm going to be clicking my mouse and stuff here. That video was posted up 9 years ago, and it has 1.2 million views. Literally, 1.2 million views. And the thing about it is if you look at my most popular videos, there's that video which has 1.2 million views. The next video down was just not a great video. And I don't know what the hell made it jump off so fast, but people jumped on it. And it has 284,000 views. You know, next one down is 265, next one 207. And then there's a big break. You know, these are all videos that are 7, 8, 9 years ago when I posted them up. And literally all these videos, I even posted up some videos about a couple of handguns, and they both got like almost 50,000 views apiece. So that was like 8, 9 years ago. That's not currently the way stuff works on YouTube. Literally, the newest video that I put up that had any kind of view notoriety was something I put up about 3 years ago where I was talking about, Hillary Clinton and her glitched out eye movements, and that got 24,000 views, and that was 3 years ago. Some stuff just really doesn't make muster. I mean, it's really annoying too, because I literally can show you guys, if you go behind the scenes, I can show you guys literally in my AdSense revenue where it was like doing okay, picked up, was on an upward trend, then it kind of stabilized, and people were like, oh yeah, dude stuff, okay, we can count on dude stuff, and I had a decent fan base, a decent viewership, and all of a sudden, like flicking a switch, my views just dropped. And then my algorithms got tweaked, and the views dropped. And then the views got tweaked again, and they dropped yet again. And in this progression of like stair-stepping down, I can show you like date, time, almost to the day when YouTube said, you know what? He's not going to have any more views. We just fixed it up. There's no reason in the world why people should be watching his stuff anymore. We're just going to knock it down. And, that's just how it is now. He's just going to have to deal with it because that's the way YouTube works. That's not the way YouTube works. That's the way YouTube works when they start cheating the algorithms and they start steering people to different viewership of different videos. Now, what it is right now for YouTube to have, like, their big claim to fame is pretty much people watching, like, gameplay videos. Third person, not even playing a video game, or not even playing, like, some RPG or some, M-Morg or, any of those other third-person shooters or driving games or something like that. That seems to be the audience that YouTube is catering to right now, is people playing video games. Now, there's a couple guys I follow, and there's like, I'm not going to give names because they're big-ass channels. They don't need my assistance. But the funny thing about it is these guys go in there and they play. And I do mean they, air quotes, they do play with the game, and they have this really just hilarious commentary where they're just screwing with the game going, hey, let's see how jacked up we can make this. And that actually makes it more fun for me versus dude going, okay, I just bought this XYZ $5 bazillion car that I got with this cheat code, and I'm driving the track in this ungodly velocity, and I'm blowing everybody else's doors off, and da-da-da-da-da. I like to see more of the goofball stuff, like biggest fails, outrageous stuff that people go into the physics and they start playing with the stuff. The Gran Turismo thing where the car is just, off the track at like 5,000 miles an hour. It's just funny as hell. Grand Theft Auto 5, where they basically go, okay, well, let's see how much we can blow this guy up. Let's see if we can escape from these other guys chasing after me. There's bigger name channels that actually do that, and they call it like, Fox of the Hunt or something like that. And these guys literally will chase each other, trying to find each other, and that's the game. Is they're, in the city, and they have to find the other guy that's now the prey. And then, it's like one of the fun things that's part about that. Scott, appreciate you coming by, dude. So the thing about it is, too, is YouTube's also had a gradual progression. It used to be, like, pretty much you could throw anything at the fan and something would stick. Everybody kind of had their own niche stuff. There was easy views to be had, but you can see dramatically how much things changed. And it wasn't me changing, okay? My content didn't really change. I was still doing the same kind of stuff. I was still putting out the same kind of things. But YouTube and their infinite wisdom said, no, we're not going to allow you to talk about XYZ. Or it's not AdSense worthy if you talk about blah, blah, blah. So we're going to demonetize you on this. Or we're going to this, that, and the other thing on that, and the other thing. And I can go back in my Gmail account, and you guys can see this. There's a list, literally a list. This video, so-and-so, was found to be perfectly fine to be monetized. Well, if it was perfectly fine to be monetized, why the flip did you demonetize it? why did you say, well, you said, you potentially said a word, and we're going to have to manually go through and check it out, which is one of the things I do. I mean, when I post up a video, I watch that thing like a hawk staring down roadkill, waiting for the roadkill to stop quivering so it can swoop down and eat it. That is the kind of stuff that I do. So as soon as they go, boop, demonetized, it's like, no. You guys, go in there, and there's actually ways you can ask for, recourse and review and what have you. Is you go, no, dude, no, not cool. And you basically click the little thing and you say, review my video, you butt bungs. And you send it off to them, and they manually, doing that air quote thing again, they manually review your video and go, oh yeah, well, he wasn't cursed like a sailor, the content was not potentially I love this, I'm gonna be coming up with a new phrase, unadsensibly ad-worthy, or any of the other glitchy little stupid things we put on there to say that you can't do. Now, in so doing, they have literally shut down and they've closed the taps on the views. So much so that you have the big names. You're like PewDiePie. That guy, he could put out a video, hey, I just put this notoriety video out where I'm scratching my butt. He gets like 50 bazillion views. I mean, the guy has an insane amount of views on YouTube, and he could put out literally the most just moronic crap ever, and he would get scads of views on his stuff. Does that mean it was worthy and meriting lots of attention? No, not particularly, but the guy was the big name on YouTube, and he made just tons of money. I mean, and that's the other thing, too, is he complained immediately as soon as his tap got closed off, and he's like, hey, I'm only making $7 or $8 million a year, not $30 or $40 million a year, or some insane amount of money like that. But the thing is also, in the progression of the stuff on YouTube, you're seeing, and this is one of these sign of the time things. Hey, sign on to my channel. Every single video that you see now, like, comment, subscribe. Every single freaking video. Like, comment, subscribe. Click the little bell so you get all my updates. Everybody is saying and doing this after their videos now because YouTube has, got to do that, water tap thing. Close the taps on all the AdSense revenue. So much so that people are now seeking alternate forms of revenue stream. They're going with Patreon. Patreon. They're going with Patreon. They're going to other places in which to extract some form of living for all their hard labors. Howard, appreciate you coming on by, brother. These are my friends I'm like welcoming into the room on the Facebook side of things, if you guys don't know. I do actually, the newcomers, I do actually have my smartphone recording over there as well, so I might actually post this up as a YouTube video. I don't know. I mean, also it's a case now where I'm a big enough channel on YouTube. I don't have a 10, 15 minute or any time limit. I can post up videos or whatever time limit I wish to. So it's not like it's going to be a question of me going, oh no, I can't post this video, it's too long. I can't do that. I can post my video as long as I damn want. No problem at all. Excuse me. Beverage tonight is going to be a fine, cheap, grocery store brand orange Pico tea. Yes, yeah. Extra nippy. Actually, I should probably let it brew a little bit more. It doesn't have enough of that bite in the back of your throat thing that I tend to enjoy. Anyway, I like my tea like I like my booze. It's got to be bitey, okay? It's got to be bitey. If it doesn't bite, you're not drinking. It's like, oh, I'm drinking tap water that's brown. Yeah, no, I want my tea to be, hi, how you doing? I'm the tea molecules. I'm fighting my way down your gullet. Yeah! I want something like that going on. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's been one of those, zeitgeist, sermon for spirit of the times. It's been one of those zeitgeist things that I've noticed in YouTube, and they've made it so that for people to make a video that's monetarily advantageous, shall I say, it's really hard for people now to justify the fact that they're putting in a lot of time and effort. And that's the other thing, too, that YouTube really has removed from the fun side of things. It used to be that you could just basically come up with the most goofball videos, post it up on YouTube, and everybody was like, oh, you jackass, and it was fine. Now, also, there was the trolls. There was the horrendous, tyrannically horrendous and just horrible persons to deal with on YouTube, and you couldn't delete their comments. You literally had to go to the YouTube support staff and go, look, these guys are doxing me, they're posting my stuff, and you would get that channel banned. And they would come up with another channel, and they would do like an iteration of their previous games and whatnot. And so the thing is it got so bad. I mean, literally, it got so bad that their own guys were outing them. Now, I don't know if it's really current information, but let's just say that I got a file of literally all the old troll guys, of all their names, all their addresses, their phone numbers, or what have you, and where they lived. And so it got to the point where I was like, fine, here's your information too. And I would out them as well. But I had to do it very carefully, because if I did it with one of my current channels, which is what they were trying to do, they're like, hey man, I just came up with this channel of so-and-so and so-and-so. Here's your name, address, and phone number, blah, 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 blah. In which case I would simply say, that's fine. You outed my stuff. I'm not happy about it, but I'm also going to out you too. But I'm not going to do it in a stupid form like you just did, because as soon as you did it and your channel gets banged, you just create another channel. I'm not going to do that and lose my channel just to get one over back on you. That is stupid. If you're going to set the forest fire, don't be the guy walking around with the pile of road flares and gasoline in your toolbox, because they're going to go, hey, that's the guy who's been setting fires. Don't be that guy, okay? So literally, that's the kind of games that they would play. Is they would throw that out there, and they would try to get some kind of recourse back on you, and try to get you to burn your channel. Well, I can tell you for a fact, creating a Yahoo account and creating a YouTube channel used to be like 5 minutes. I mean, literally, it was like 5 minutes. And if you were really, really dickhead about it, you would create about 5 or 6 channels and have them all standing by, and all 6 of these channels would be screwing with the one guy, going, hey man, blah, 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 we got all your information, this, that, and the other thing. And that was the kind of stuff they would do. The other game that they would play is using Skype. They had spoofers where they would get a hold of your phone number, and they would call somebody, and they would use their phone number, not even in the slightest, but they would use a fake phone number, or even your phone number. Like, I remember one time I was talking with another YouTuber, and so we're talking, and he knew by, caller ID, hey, it's dude calling you. So we're talking, and all of a sudden, it may have been Skype, that's what it was Skype. We were talking back and forth on Skype, and he goes, oh, look, somebody's calling me again. Oh, dude, it's you again. It's like, really? Huh, so they're calling you with my phone number. He goes, yeah, they got a spoofer. It's like, well, you want to put him in the conversation? We both basically tell him to go piss off. And he's like, nah, I'm just not going to answer him. I'm going to block that number real quick and dirty, so I don't have to worry about it. But it's like, yeah, but if you block that number that says it's me, will you be blocking me? He goes, oh, yeah, that's a good point. I think I will accidentally be blocking you, because they have the spoofer saying it's your phone number, and you can't do that. Now, this is also going back some time where, technology was not exactly stupid, but, there wasn't quite the sophistication that they have nowadays, where they got the recognition software and all kinds of better stuff coming out there and say, you can't spoof your number. Bad news. If you're good enough with a computer, you can always spoof your stuff. You can make, a VPN, you can make a virtual machine, you can have an IP spoofer, you can be using somebody else's landline, you can be using somebody else's Wi-Fi. It's really, really not hard. As a matter of fact, I used to think it was funny as hell to go to a website where I got into a pissing match with one of the guys, and there was a bulletin, BBS board. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's an old school chat board where you literally had like threads of conversation, and you would go in there and say stuff. And they blocked me. And they said, dude, you're not coming back anymore, blah, 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 blah. And literally what it was a pissing match between me and one of the administrators, and he locked me out. So I used to think it was funny as a tow driver. I used to drive a tow truck long distance. I'd be out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, hey, I have access to their computer. Let me use the computer here for a sec. And I would log in, and I would make a comment, and I would say, guess where I am? Boop, and they'd have to block that IP address. Well, they're blocking the IP address for a business. It really doesn't matter to them, because that business wouldn't be going to that board anyway. They wouldn't be going to that IP address anyway. They wouldn't be going to that www dot whatever it was. So I thought it was actually kind of funny to do that kind of stuff. Me being the troll that I am at times, truthfully, I can be a troll. I can be a hell of a troll. And I made it in art form to piss people off, and they started jacking with me. Was it entertaining? It was something to do, but, it wasn't really something I was aiming to do online. It really wasn't something to try to do on YouTube per se, but it was kind of one of those literal zeitgeist things at a time. Truthfully, life got a little bit more busier, and I just didn't have time to screw with all that stuff. Videos also, not quite so easy to come by. But you know what? I could grab any kind of digital, recording medium. I mean, case in point, old school, what I used to do is just run around with an old flip camera, and that was literally what I did. I think this was my HD. Is this my HD, or is this the old one? Let's see here. No, that's the HD. And this thing will shoot okay video. Now, the thing about it is this was Cisco. It's no longer supported. The editing software for it, the editing software for this thing is a joke. Literally, if you use the Windows version of Movie Maker and you try to put it into this, the frame rate is wrong and it goes, incompatible. Because I think this does it at 30 and I think the Windows version does it at 40. So, truthfully, it's one of those cases of it's just not compatible stuff. But one would actually edit the other, no problem. The other one just said, I'm not even recognizing you. And I did make a lot of videos. Truthfully, I made probably like the first 3 or 4 years worth of YouTube videos. I was making, with flip cameras. And then, of course, I went to my Sony that's currently on the shelf back there. Hey, I don't even use that camera anymore. Now, because technology has progressed so damn far, that pretty much everybody is using... Yeah, here we go. Pretty much everybody's using their smartphones. So this is the old one. This is the S3, not the S5. The S5 is like over... I don't know if you guys could even see like reflection, but... I don't even want to try, but... No. You can't even see reflection, but it's over there, okay? It's like literally like about a foot to the right of my my tablet I'm currently using for the live cast I'm doing here. So anyway... Truthfully, the technology's evolved, things have gotten better, but also in the process of getting better, some stuff has truthfully really, really gotten just seriously sucky, man. I mean, YouTube right now is run by a Meg Susan, whatever her name is. She's extracted the fun from it. Okay, we're usually. It was just a case of going in there, everybody kind of hanging out, doing their thing. We would do contrasting videos. Somebody do a video, somebody do an answering video. It was like a fairly not too tight a community, but everybody kind of knew everybody. Then, of course, it got really, really big. And then, you had like the subgroups and, of course, all the rest of the good stuff like that there. And even if you didn't know the people in real life, I mean, there also was like the whole case of like the life coming from, the internet to the real world, IRL, in real life, where you knew somebody online and you knew them very well online, and then you only met them maybe once or twice in real world, and then they pass. And you're like, holy crap. That's like, somebody that I knew. I mean, there's been several people I've known like that. They're like, like the friends on Facebook, like they pass, like, Vinny Sorrentino. I mean, one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet. Firearms Pop. I only met the guy once in Pennsylvania. I met him once. And we basically hung out and we were talking like we'd known each other for years. Literally one of the nicest men I ever met in my life. And it basically had been about a month or so after his passing that I found out that he had died. And then, of course, it was a case of like there was a whole bunch of people on, Howard knew Vinny. In the room there, Howard knew Vinny. And it was a case of everybody was like, holy crap, Vinny's gone. It's like, it was just like the disconnect of the family members didn't think like, hey, here's an update. Vinny's no longer with us. It was a case where he got sick and unfortunately he didn't recover. The last we heard, he was basically in the hospital and he was sick again. It wasn't like, okay, this is the last time we're ever going to hear from this guy because truthfully, he was in the hospital and he was still probably posting up on his phone on Facebook to probably like one of the last days, and it was kind of like, where's Vinny? And it's just like, oh, well, let me go see what's, literally it's a case of that kind of, hey, I haven't heard from this person for a while. Let me go check them up on their Facebook page. And then you find on the Facebook page, it's like all the, I'm so sorry for your passing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, holy crap, when did he go away? And then you like look him up, you find like his obituary and all the stuff like that. And it's not really like the true departure from real life, but it's just a case of, it's not, like, I don't even know if I'd even describe it as kind of like that, that old thing that they had online called Second Life, where you literally were like a virtual person of yourself, and you lived in this virtual community and did all these virtual things. It's around. If you look it up, Second Life was something that was huge years ago, but I don't even know if it's really that big a deal anymore. It was kind of like the Wizard of World or World of Warcraft thing with like the huge servers and like thousands and thousands and thousands of people playing in there. And of course, when one of the cells closes, it's a big deal. And, when somebody buys the corporation that originally had it and they change things up, it's a big deal. But truthfully, YouTube is still the same entity that it always truly was. It's still owned by Google, parent company of both of those things being the Alphabet company. Of course, Google has just scads of cash. I mean, they can always cry poor, man, but they will never, ever, ever stop making money on YouTube and all the rest of their, ad generation medium. They make plenty of money. As a matter of fact, I'd say that there are probably, in lieu of things, I got like dust and stuff blowing around me. In lieu of things, they probably also have like some trust violations because entirely so much like, Facebook, they are just way too big. Disney Corporation, way too big. There's a whole bunch of other entertainment industries, Comcast, you could say, is way too big. Verizon is way too big. All these things are these, huge, all-encompassing corporations. And when your news is coming from nine sources, literally 9 sources, 9 sources on the planet, that is literally all the places that you're going to find news from the parent organizations is 9 places. Now, when you have all these things going back and forth and all these, potentially single-minded aspirations style of CEOs, they're going to pass the word on down and say, you know what, guys, we want things to be happening in a certain way. This is the news stories you just won't touch on, okay? We want nobody to talk about these things, and if you do talk about these things, we'll drop the axe on you, and you are beyond S-canned, and I do mean S-hit canned, as in S-hit canned out the door. You will find these things out to be what they truly are, and you will be saying bye-bye. Now, here is one of those things. Hang on a second here. My Facebook is being really, really slow. Let me kill a tab here. YouTube sometimes can be really draggy. But let me scrolly. There was a news story posited up, and for me, I found it's going to be a little bit out of line with my timeline, but I'm just going to pull this one out because I just thought it was hilarious. This one posted up December 1. And this is coming from conservativefighters.org. And I cannot do this justice, man. I truly cannot do this justice. But the story was posted up by, of all people, by a person called Jessica Kwon. Or Kwong. And the news story is, Newsweek, and posted up 11/28/19 at 10:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And how is Trump spending Thanksgiving, tweeting, golfing, and more? Well, that's not the whole story here, because posted up on the same day at 2:40 p.m., read only 2.5 hours later or so, President Trump pays surprise visit to U.S. troops in Afghanistan, posited and posted by James Crowley. One of these things might have something to do with the other. Yes, that's right, exactly what happened to this is Newsweek fires Jessica Kwong, a Newsweek reporter who covered the Trump administration and the 2020 campaign. She published a story on Thanksgiving morning with the headline, How's Trump Spending Thanksgiving, Tweeting, Golfing, and More. However, it turned out Trump spent Thanksgiving meeting with American troops stationed in Afghanistan. In a statement, Newsweek told the Washington Examiner that its story has been fully corrected. Kwong, quote, has been terminated, end quote, and would take further action if an investigation proves it is necessary. Newsweek investigated the failures that led to the publication of an inaccurate report that President Trump spent Thanksgiving tweeting and golfing rather than visiting troops in Afghanistan. The story's been corrected and the journalist responsible has been terminated. We will continue to review our process and if required, take further action. Newsweek editors corrected the story on Thanksgiving Day after the president's surprise visit was made public. Now, here's the rest of the story that you guys didn't hear. The rest of the story that you guys didn't hear was this is classic military distraction, classic military misdirection, classic military feint tactics from time and eternal. They have always done this. This is the way the military works, is they say, okay, look over here, right here. Okay, look over here. There's like a fire. There's like a couple explosions going off. You see this right here? Oh, but right over here is where we're blowing stuff up. So that's the way they're doing things. So literally, they do a major distraction, then they blow something up over in another location. There was a fake motorcade. All the news guys are like, oh, look at Trump. Look what he's doing. He's going down the Mar-a-Lago or something along those lines. How dare he not do these things? Well, they didn't see that actually it was a different aircraft. It wasn't Air Force One. It was a different aircraft that Trump was hired on, and he was flying from wherever to wherever in Afghanistan, getting off. And literally, the news story was that they really didn't want to get into was it wasn't just the fact he was there and visiting with the troops. President Trump was actually serving the troops their Thanksgiving meal. He was behind a chow line. Here you go. Here's food. What do you want? No, okay. And he was literally handing trays over to the troops as they were going past, and he was serving the troops. Okay. So what does Trump tweet? I thought Newsweek was out of business. Donald Trump, fake news gonna fake. Fake news versus reality. And he posted that up on November 28th at 8:25 p.m. So I don't know where he posted it up, if he was overseas, if he was back in country. But if you know anything about leaving out of this country and getting to Afghanistan, it is a long honking flight. Let's just see flight time. Let's just see. Let's just be wild and crazy here. Flight time from Largo, Maryland. Okay, that's as close as I'm going to get to being down by Andrews Air Force Base. Okay, Largo, Maryland to Afghanistan. Oh, let's see. Let's just say flight time. I think it's like 13, 14 hours. No, it is 17 hours. 17 hours of flight time. Now, the thing is, because you're flying as the president, more than likely they would touch down, refuel, pick back up again. So that would probably save them maybe an hour. Still, that is flying at least 15 to 16 hours, if not more, steady. Just to hop off the plane, okay, guys, I'm here. Hey, how's everybody doing? Blah, 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 blah. And then turn around and then do it all the way back. So, knowing the things that Trump knows and doing stuff the way that Trump does, and of course being the world traveler that he is, and having his name literally in places all over the planet, he knew how long it would take to get there, and it was a big distraction going on before he rolled out and he popped up in Afghanistan going, hey guys, I'm here. How is everybody doing? Kwong supposedly has not responded to her ousting. She's not gonna. She's got major egg on her face, and if nothing else, I don't see her as the guilty party. I see her as the fall guy that basically posted up this story. Because here's the thing. If you're in a news agency the size of Newsweek, you got friends in all the other news agencies, and you go, hey guys, what's really going on? Where's Donald Trump really this weekend, or this week, or on this day, or on this location? Is he really here, or is he just basically giving a feint, or is it going to be something that doesn't really hold true, or is it going to be something that really truly is not based in reality, and it's something as such that basically we're getting led, and we got a red herring. Because they really screwed the pooch on this one, folks. Excuse me 1 second here. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. And I was looking around, and one of my personal absolute favorite channels is Forgotten Weapons and In Range TV, or In Range, whatever they call it. But what it is these are a couple of guys. Ian McCollum is one of them. And the other one, I think, is Carl Casado or something like that. And they're two really seriously scary, knowledgeable gun guys. They got a series where they're going on about, the WWSD. I thought that was brilliant. And that's absolutely brilliant because I thought about it probably about 5 to 7 years before they did. And the WWSD is what would Stoner do? So what they did, and they found out, is that the cavalry arms / GWACs, or the polymer lower receiver stock pistol combination, all one piece, literally has two halves that are just sonic welded together. So you take 2 pieces of plastic, 2 pieces of polymer, you put them together, and you put the sonic waves through it, ultrasonic, and goes, it makes it hot, it melts down the middle, and sticks. You got to fix it, pull out your soldering iron. Very, very easy to work on. Basically, it's polymer. They found out that the WWSD component of it is literally what would Stoner do? And they do mean Stoner, like Eugene Stoner, like the guy that designed the AR-10, and then a couple guys on staff under him downsized it and made it to the AR-15. So truthfully, you can say, technically, Gene Stoner didn't make the AR-15. He did make the forefather of it, which is basically the origination, which is the AR-10 weapon system. Then he did make the AR-18, and of course he made the Mini-Me and all kinds of other good stuff afterwards. But literally, the What Would Stoner Do project was really, really cool. Bev, appreciate you coming by, hon. So anyway, the What Would Stoner project do is literally a modern iteration of, you take the AR-15 M16 rifle system and you say, where does it need to go to and where does it need to improve? And right off the bat, they said, the military, if you look at the original iteration of an M16, reading like from Vietnam, it was one, very handy. Number two, it was light. Number three, it enabled the rifleman to carry way more ammunition and potentially in the ranges which are taking place in combat between 0 to 2 to 300 yards, which is pretty much your maximum because people aren't stupid. They don't walk around out in the middle of the field in combat zones and go, hi, shoot at me, please. Hey, I'm Mr. Obvious. They don't do that, okay? People don't do that kind of stuff. They literally jump from place to place and they try to scoot along and they try to hide as much as possible. And every once in a while, if they see another guy, they'll pop off a shot at him. Now, the recognition time for you to get a guy, take a shot at him, and duck back out of cover is not going to be like this, movie style, oh, that guy's 3 miles away, I'm going to hit him with this ridiculous sniper rifle because he's just going to be standing there going, doot-de-doo, 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 please, 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 shoot me, shoot me, shoot me. No, that's not how things work in reality. So the What Would Stoner Do project do, What Would Stoner Do, was literally a modern iteration of redesigning, revisiting, and re-engineering the original iteration of an M16A1/SP1 first generation rifle system, where Stoner pretty much had it right. You want a rifle that is not 12 pounds. Every time the U.S. military did an improvement, what they call an improvement on the M16 rifle system, they made it heavier. Because when you first had the M16, it didn't have the forward assist, okay? The Air Force said, we don't need that kind of crap. If there's a round that's boogered up, we're basically going to open it up, drop out the cartridge, put it in fresh rounds, and shoot it like that. We're not going to take the round that doesn't want to go in, and we're just going to hammer it into a chamber that doesn't want to be accepting. That's not the way you shoot a rifle, okay? If you have a weapon that doesn't want to go bang, you don't keep pushing forward. You go, okay, what's going on in there? Let me clean that gook out and, get the thing going again. There's no other weapon system on the planet that says, let me jam it home and make sure it sticks. That's the first thing they got wrong. The second thing they did was they started making it heavier. The second thing they did on top of the second thing was they're like, hey, it's heavier, let's just add more crap. And that's literally what these guys saw in the What Would Stoner Do project, was they were looking at it going, okay, original technology, a really thin barrel doesn't like to get hot. And, the original technology, when they were making them, the barrel would get hot and it would shoot. Originally, it would shoot like, a decent group. And then it would get hot and it would start shooting in the other areas because the barrels, as it would get hot, would literally bend. Because that's the way metal works. You make metal, and metal is either relaxed or it has potential stresses in it that make it do something strange when it gets in temperature extremes. Every metal on the planet does that. It's just how much does it do it? Or did you counter it by its process of technology and, of course, being made in a certain way that you've addressed the fact that it's going to do that? So I said, number one, the barrel is way too heavy. Let's see if we can go with modern technology, talk to some guys that make better, newer stuff, and see if they have addressed the original problem. And literally, that's what they found out. And they've shot the two side by side. The original AR-15/SP1, which was the old mid-60s, early 70s, up into the 80s style of Colt AR-15. And they shot it. And they said, yeah, it shoots great at first, and then the barrel heats up after about a magazine or two, and then the bullets go somewhere else. And it's predictable. We know this gun. It's going to shoot here originally, and then when it gets hot, it's going to shoot over there. So we know how much it's going to shoot because we're used to it. Now, in a combat zone, that's not how things work. When you basically grab a rifle, you want to have as much in the same general vicinity because you're under stress and everything is harder because you're under stress. You know, you're being shot at, you're running around, you're all amped up, you're carrying crap tons of gear on your person. So all that stuff comes into play, and you lose effective accuracy right off the bat. So what they said with modern technology, these newer, skinnier barrels shoot the same hot or cold. And the second thing they said on top of that is, okay, do we really need a barrel that's going to be like some, ridiculous length? And they're like, well, let's look at the ballistics as such. And they're like, okay, we're engaging targets of XYZ from XYZ distance. We really don't need a long barrel. If we lose some, feet per second because we have a shorter barrel, it's still going to shoot accurately. We're intending it to shoot in this range with this bullet weight, with this type of extreme kind of usage, and we could probably knock about 5-6 inches right off the barrel. And they did. And they wanted to be legal about it. So what they did was they got one of the makers makes a barrel, and they literally make a barrel that is 14.5 inches. So if you look at all the new M16s that are coming out, they're not M16s, they are M4s. So they're carbines. They're fielding carbines at this point because the military decided carrying around a rifle and trying to get around buildings and bumping into things and having something that's a meter long, 39 inches is too much trouble. So if you have something that's shorter, it's easier to deal with. So right off the bat, they said the barrel is 16 inches. Nah. The barrel's going to be 20 inches. Nah. What do we need to actually make it work consistently and does good enough? They said 14.5 inches. So if you think about things on the civilian side of things, you have to have a minimum 16 inches of barrel length to be legal in the BATF aspects of things with, the National Firearms Act. A rifle barrel has to be a minimum length of 16 inches. Now, excuse me 1 second here. I need some more tea. Now, the 16-inch barrel, it needs to be 16 inches. Now, if you have a 14.5-inch barrel, read like 1.5 inches under legal status, all you have to do is you put on a compensator, a flash suppressor, quote-unquote, a muzzle device, as long as it is attached permanently, and I do mean permanently to the barrel of the weapon system, and brings you up to 16 inches, they don't care if it's only 14.5 inches of rifle. They don't care if it's only, X amount of chamber. They don't care if it's only, this amount of, as long as it has a rifle barrel and it is 16 inches from the breech, where the bullet's going to stop or where the bullet's going to start to the actual end of it or the muzzle end where it's going to end. As long as that is 16 inches in between, you are legit. So this company they were talking to, and I'm not going to give you names or anything like that. You guys can look that stuff up on your own. I'm not going to give anybody free advertising. But they came up with a 16-inch barrel that uses a 14.5-inch barrel with a permanently attached flash hider that is light. Then they said, well, that's really cool, but, all this stuff that you hang on the front, it makes the thing really heavy. And the same company also makes a carbon fiber handguard. Now, I'm going to put it in perspective for you guys. If you've ever played with carbon fiber, number one, it is hella strong. Number two, it is very, very light technology. So much so that you could build a car that's under a couple thousand pounds, and it'll still be stronger than something made out of steel. So anyway, they use the same construction company for the barrel and the handguard, and they noticed something else that's really kind of cool. And I can tell you about this years ago. Years and years ago. I was driving pizzas for this one company, and one of the guys on staff, one of the managers, was like a total nut for like hot rodding motorcycles and whatnot, and he had this motorcycle exhaust system, and the pipe was like stainless steel and titanium, but the canister, read like the part that you would go fry your leg on, that literally is like, the actual muffler, the container can side of things, call what you will, the can was actually carbon fiber. Now he could take this bike, middle of summertime, blisteringly hot, ride that thing into work, park it, and you'd walk up to it, he's like, hey man, touch the can. It's like, nah, dude, nah, it's like ridiculously bazillions of degrees. He goes, no, dude, touch it. Trust me. And you would touch the outside of this can, and you could not even get near the metal parts of the exhaust, but you could touch the can, and it was maybe like 120 degrees. So if you were riding on a hot day, and you bumped your leg against it, be like, okay, that's a little warm. But it wasn't like, you would bump your leg against it. You could ask anybody that rides bikes in the good old days. Everybody riding bikes with shorts in the summertime, everybody has a hot exhaust pipe story, either from them or from their girlfriend, because somebody got on the bike and went, and fry themselves. But that is one of the coolest components about technology therein of carbon fiber is it does not transfer heat very well at all. And they said literally you could shoot the thing just blistering hot. Smoke waves, heat waves coming off the thing. Everything's getting blurry in front of you, but you could still hang on to the handguard, and your hands would be perfectly fine because you're not getting fried because there is no direct contact with the hot parts. They did say that there actually is one bolt on the bottom that attaches it to the upper receiver you got to be really careful about, but that's way in the back, and it's usually not going to be an area where you're pretty much running your hand down anyway. And if you do go, you're only going to do it once and go, okay, that was a mistake. Now, the other thing, too, about it is also they were addressing other things, other shortcomings. Barricade-Sean, appreciate coming on by, brother. Looking at other things that need to be addressed, too. The trigger system. There's other technology involved. If you get dirt in there, things could go wrong. Modern technology has improved so much. Newer designs, people swiping each other's ideas once the technology is no longer patented, once the trademark's worn out. All that stuff coming down, and really is kind of cool. But they're like, okay, let's work on the trigger system. They were addressing that. They're like, we want the thing to be ambidextrous. They addressed that. They're like, okay, well, it needs to have less crunch and ticker, to use the Jeff Cooper phrase, less crunch and ticker things that go wrong. We want to have simpler sights in there, so they just took the sights off. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to be aiming to make the thing light. And one of the guys that actually, I believe it was the Carl guy, not the Ian guy, said specifically, the lighter you make a gun, the more crap you can add onto it, and it's not going to be a problem because it's not going to weigh so much because it didn't start out heavy in the first place. So when they were done, they would literally have these things built up, and I do mean like shooters. They would have lights on them. They would either have like some kind of laser or non-laser setup on there, a red dot scope or a standard scope on there, and they would still have a rifle that was under 7 or 8 pounds. I mean, truthfully, one of the guys built the thing up, and his rifle was like 5.5 pounds. Now, you could ask anybody in the military, carrying around the standard M16, when I went into the Marine Corps back in 1986, the weight of an M16A2, let's just make myself official here, I know it's 39 inches. I know it's 1 meter in length. That I know from, it's been bolted in. That I know, but the weight of an M16A2, which was literally the rifle system, it is 7.5 pounds loaded. No, it feels like more than that, man. It's got more crap on board. But the thing about it is also there's a whole bunch of other stuff on it you can't change. You have, the handguard is not free floating. The handguard they have on the What Would Stoner Do project does have a free floating handguard. It does have a lighter barrel. And one of the things I thought was hilarious is if you look at the barrel of an M16A2 underneath the handguards, it starts out okay, then it slims way down, and then it gets fat again way towards the end. And there's a reason why they did that. I was already saying, oh no, it's got to accept the M16A2 grenade launcher. Well, it's got to fit this other thing on there. Oh, it's got to do these other things. Well, which is why you now also look at the M4 carbine. You pop off the handguards, and it has this step in the middle of the barrel where it started out fat, was going okay, and then got thin, fattened back up again because it has to have some place for the M16A2 to grab onto. So, again, you're starting out with something that was basically a decent design, and you're just adding way more crap to it. So that is literally what the What Would Stoners Do project thing that I thought was really cool. I can tell you for a fact, the whole series is probably like about 10 or 12 videos, and they did have a playlist, but YouTube screwed with them. So you know what these guys did? They said, you know what? We're not playing games with you anymore, YouTube, and they just demonetized all their own videos. They said, if we're not going to make any money, you're not going to make any money. If you can't monetize stuff with gun stuff, guess what? You're not making any money either. So that is literally what they did in form of protest, and because they just didn't want to be beholden to YouTube, they demonetized everything. Very cool. Let me go back over here, but one of the other things they said was really kind of cool is an intellectual exercise, and this is the last gun thing I think I'm talking about for the moment, but they said what would happen if the U.S. Army had, instead of using the trapdoor Springfield, had standardized on using lever guns in the 1870s. The Indian Wars and all the other stuff that they were dealing with, would they have been better suited using a multiple shot lever gun, something that shot maybe not quite so powerful a cartridge, but with the firepower would be able to repel and be more effective in a group en masse. Because that's literally what happened. Is even though the Springfield shot a much more capable cartridge than a lot of the lever guns back then, it was also a case of just simply a case of there's so many damn Indians. Oh crap! How do we stop them all? That was literally what those guys were dealing with. And the Indians were smart because they knew they were not professional shooters. They got lever guns, and they said, you know what? If I'm going to miss the first couple shots, I'm eventually going to tag them. And also, it's a case of fog of war. Again, you have that effectiveness. You're shooting from horseback. You're doing all these things. You're going to be less effective and less accurate. But if you're doing it with a lever gun, you got more shots. You're not just going bang, one shot with a Springfield, trapdoor going bang, one shot, crap. I got to reload. Crap. I got to reload. Crap. I got to reload. Lever gun. Some of those lever guns held up to 15 to 17 shots. So that was basically their bring it and ready to go for a while yet rifle back in the good old days. But it was a very interesting exercise. It's also listed up on not the forgotten weapons side of things, but it's on the in range. And it says, what if the U.S. Army adopted lever guns back in the 1870s? Great series. I was watching that, fully engrossed, totally enjoying it. And that is definitely one of my go-to YouTube channels. So it's definitely going to be Forgotten Weapons and In Range. And that's Ian McCollum and Carl Casada. Those guys really, truly know some cool stuff. Scrolly. I had way too much fun. For a while, I was going nuts with that chick screaming at the cat being snarky back at Weems. I was having way too much fun with that. So I'm now skipping over about probably 10 of those that I did. And I really, truly had fun with those. Let's see. Scroll. Oh, this one's kind of cute. Now, I don't normally go to Starbucks, okay? I'm going to put this in perspective, folks. I normally don't go to Starbucks for two very good reasons. Number one, I hate their politics. And number two, there's not a lot of stuff that they have there that I'm going to drink. I mean, truthfully, there's two things that I drink at Starbucks expressly. And I'll drink, their soy chai latte. I mean, that's just, one of those things I drink. And the other one is the green tea frappuccino. And that's the only two things I really drink at Starbucks. Pretty much, if it's I'm in the neighborhood and there's nothing else really going on and sure, I got a couple minutes, I might do that once in a blue moon. I don't do it regularly. I'm not a hipster, coffee quaffer that has to go there. I usually will brew my own, and if failing the case of that one and I really, really need some Java, I'll just hit a convenience store to know which ones I like. That said, somebody in their infinite wisdom decided to get snarky with an Oklahoma cop and put on their Starbucks label, pig. Now, I'm not a huge, thin blue line supporter or anything like that. But you know what? You're jagging with somebody's food. That's just not cool. Was it even really funny? Did you really even think you got something over anybody? Did you really think that nobody was going to notice? I mean, seriously, dude, come on. Was that even really something that you thought was going to be funny? No, it didn't really work out so good. Even the guy went in and he talked to the chief and he's like, hey, boss, look at this crap. And the boss looked at it and goes, that's BS, man. Hang on a sec. Went in the office, called the store. It's like, do you realize one of your employees put pig on one of my officers' cups here? That's not cool stuff. And apparently, Starbucks got such a blowback on it there. Even they were like, yeah, that's really not cool. We're gonna have to fix this. So apparently, the one that did it got S-hit canned, and I do mean S-hit. They got S-hit canned. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you on the butt. See ya. So long. Bye-bye. And, it's just some stuff you don't do. Messing with people's food, doing that kind of disingenuous, just obnoxious crap. It is what it is. I'm not even going to talk about colon crap on Dick because, well, we all know what he is. He's a known quantity, and you get what you get with him. I did find it interesting, though, that he did have the one golden opportunity where the teams were like, yeah, sure, we'll give you, an audition, go out here and show your worth. The very last second, he's like, you know what? I can't make it. They're like, what do you mean you can't make it? I can't make it. I'll do something different. They're like, well, what do you mean do something different? He goes, I'll see you tomorrow at this high school. There I'll do my audition. I'll have people out there. We'll do catch and, receiver practice. And you guys can see what I can still do and how much I excel and how good I am and all the rest of this falderall. And the thing about it is all the football teams were like, dude, we just gave you a chance and you just blew us off. I mean, why'd you just do that? And from what I understand, it blew back on him spectacularly because the very next day where he did his little, demonstration at high school, none of the football teams went out there. There may have been like one or two guys associated with the teams just watching, but there wasn't the teams. All 32 NFL teams pretty much just told Colin Crap on Dick, bye-bye. We're not dealing with your BS anymore. You're too much of a grandstander. You bring too much drama into it. We just don't want to deal with your stuff anymore. You're just not fun, dude. You're just not fun. So anyway, I thought the crowning glory on it was of all things, the guys that actually were doing the practice with him as receivers. A couple of guys got a phone call going, hey, we really like the way that you were showing yourself off. Potentially you could come by and do an audition for us and, show us what you can do. We really were intrigued by the way that you were catching the ball there. You were doing a really good job. We thought you really did a nice job, and we'd like to see you do it on our side of things. So potentially if you could do an audition for us, we'd be very appreciative. So the guys that were working with Colin Crap on Dick potentially got, hey, could you go talk to these 32 teams in the football league? Colin Crap on Dick, you got dick. Couldn't happen to a nicer race-baiting martyr. Tired of that guy. He's pretty much done it to such a degree that even like one of the sports writers on like ESPN is like, he doesn't want to play. He wants to be a martyr. Wow. It was another black dude. He's like, wow, I'm sick of your crap, man. I'm sick of you. Wow. Just wow. Let's see. I don't know if you guys heard about it or not, but the comedy that cannot be written. I cannot begin to tell you how much this stuff, it just writes itself. Example one. Joe Biden was doing some kind of a campaign event, right? And his wife is talking, and she's like swinging her arms in front of him. And the first time, she swung her arms really wide, he like ducked back. The second time she did it, he like reached in and was like, chomp. he like bit her finger. She's like, oh, it's you. So he's being crazy Uncle Joe yet again. And he's doing it. He's doing it. But supposedly he, quote unquote, nibbled on his wife's finger at a campaign stop in Iowa. Oh, crazy Uncle Joe, man. It is like the family members that are just like, it's going to be that guy. He is that guy. Truthfully, he's that guy. Let me scroll. Scrolly. There. Oh, jeez. I cannot begin to tell you the kind of stuff that he's been pulling off. Wow. Just wow. I mean, wow. The whole thing about, him going on about like, the kids like to stroke the hair on my legs. She turns blonde in the summertime when I'm in the pool. Dude, no. Okay, you can definitely quote me as saying this. This is going to be my quote concerning Joe Biden and little children. Ew, 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 ew. Like the crazy uncle, that guy. Ew. Oh, ew. Just ew. Blech. I don't know what to tell you about that one, man. That is beyond creepy. And I gotta tell you, there's a number of times where you've seen situations where he's doing some kind of public event and the parents are like, literally like, dude, get off the kid, let go of the kid, or like literally body language, like body checking him to get him off the child. And Biden's got serious things going on, man. I don't know what his deal is, but woof. I don't know what his deal is, but man, he's not the guy that you want to have sitting in the White House going, all right, I'm driving the bus. No. And you can always count on him saying something crazy or doing something weird. There was always something going on with him. And I thought it was always kind of interesting that no matter what, Obama was front and definitely forefront. It was definitely a case of everybody's paying attention to what Obama's doing. Biden would come up and he would say something, and it'd be like, well, it wasn't that big a deal. It's just Joe Biden, Joe being Joe, and that's how Joe is. It's just Joe being Joe, because that's just Joe. And it's like, no, that's dude being like really, woo, really, woo, woo, really, really, woo, really, really, really weird. On that note, I'm going to break up this one, folks. I thank you guys for hanging out with me. you get a gold star for attendance, good stuff like that there. I do actually have the other video that I've shot. So I'm real-time shooting on my tablet here, and I also have it doing the real-time probably post-production work. I might post up on YouTube. I might actually start posting them up on YouTube. What the hell? I'm doing a podcast here. I'm just talking. I'm posting them on YouTube. I can also do other venues, so what the hell? So I'll probably post them in other places. Thank you guys for kind attention. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Tuesday. We got other things to do, but you chose to do it with me, and I appreciate your kind attentions. Do be sure to go to top prepper websites, give us a vote. Truly, truly, truly appreciate your kind attentions. You can do it once per day. The computer will let you do it once per day. If you try to do it twice a day, the computer says no. We're trying to become number one because number two stinks. Oh, I forgot the Beetlejuice when I started this thing. Oh, well. Oh, well. On that note, I guess I'll have to do it next time. But anyway, so do be sure to go and check us out. Around the Cabin, aroundthecabin.com. Around the Cabin Food, Around the Cabin News, Around the Cabin Buy, Sell, and Trade, Around the Cabin School of Self-Reliance, Around the Garden State, and Around the Cabin Medicinal Cannabis. Bam! Got them all. Rich, you owe me on that one, brother. All right, so I'm going to break up on this one. Thank you guys for kind attention. You can find me on YouTube as 80s Podcast Channel, Twitter as 80SPCC, and of course, Dude Jerky here, miraculously still here on Facebook. I don't know why this has happened. I got to be doing something wrong because I haven't gotten banned in like a week and change. I don't know what I'm doing right, but I guess I'm doing it. But thank you guys for kind attention. You guys hanging out with me. I'm going to break up on this one. Eat good, keep thundering as always. You know you love it. And like I usually say, catch you guys later. Have a good one. See you guys.
Ah!